you doing right now? You're watching this video of the Warhorse when you should be listening to the Juice Pro Wrestling Podcast. That's right, they're talking all the things that matter, like heavy metal. They're talking black metal, thrash metal, death metal. They're talking things like comedy. They're talking things like other types of music. And they're talking wrestling. You know, all the good shit, all the important things in life that you need to listen to. Go listen to the Juice Pro Wrestling Podcast. Otherwise, Warhorse is gonna rule your ass!
You so freaking bad. Wrestle me.
Welcome, everybody, to Juice Pro Wrestling, episode 116. An epic 116 with the legendary guitarist from a legendary doom metal band. His name is Dave Chandler from the band St. Vitus. Welcome, Dave.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. How the hell are you doing?
I'm all right, surviving the corona.
Yeah.
Especially down here in New Orleans. We're like the shithole of the country, so.
Oh, man, you guys got it bad all around.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
What's that Frank Zappa song, Trouble Every Day?
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go, man. Dave, I thank you for joining us tonight. This is going to be one hell of a conversation. And everybody out there watching on YouTube and listening on all podcasting platforms, real quick, I was very familiar with St. Vitus and your guitar work and all that shit going back, the SST days and that killer roster that, Greg Ginn had, all those bands like you guys, Meat Puppets, Screaming Trees, Bad Brains, the list goes on and on. But what actually brought my attention to your professional wrestling fandom, I was on an app on my Xbox called Tubi. It's basically like a free Netflix.
Yeah, I have that. Yeah, that's a good channel.
Hell yeah, I love it. They got a lot of really cool music docs and stuff on there too. But I was watching the Mentors documentary, and they were interviewing you and talking about El Duce. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy fuck, is old dude wearing a fucking ECW shirt? And I'm like, so I go on the internet and I start looking up pictures of you live and shit, and I'm like, holy fuck, is he wearing a Lucha Underground shirt? Holy fuck, is he wearing a Ring of Honor shirt? And it just kept going and going. And, I see him with the Sandman. I'm sporting a Rhino shirt tonight.
All right. Which one?
This is one I got from him a couple years back. So it's just, it's not really an old school one. It just says Gore Tour on it.
I saw him. They did it. He was here with our local boys, Wildcat, last year. And I got the Rhino versus Everybody one from him.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. He's been wearing that on Impact.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of how and instantly I was sitting there and I watched that and I was like, man, this is fucking awesome. And I immediately tried to get in contact with you guys through social media. And luckily, I think via Facebook, I messaged the band, and whoever runs that, was like, hey, we'll hit up Dave.
In a month,
Initially, it was just going to be like, hey, man, you want to fucking talk music and shit? It's like, nah, I'll do some wrestling talk. I'm like, even better. So with that being said, I kind of want to go back into what started. I mean, because you've been around a while, man. When did you start watching pro wrestling?
Actually, I started watching it when I was a kid. I was probably like 8 or 9. And I lived in Torrance, California, which is Southern California. So every Wednesday night on Channel 5, they had wrestling from the Olympic Auditorium. So my dad would always let me watch that. And sometimes I could talk him into taking me to go see it live, And that's how I got into it. There was like Freddie Blassie, The Sheik, John Tolis, Neil Moskowitz, Don Carson, Black Ordman and Goliath, those people and shit.
Legends. Man, it's funny. Freddie Blassie, you mentioned him. Have you ever seen that movie with Andy Kaufman?
Maybe.
It's Breakfast with Blassie. It's on Tubi.
Oh, no, I haven't. I'll have to see that.
Dude, it's fucking hilarious. I love Freddie Blassie, man.
Yeah, he's great.
Your pants are not geek.
They used to do interviews with Dick Lane, and he'd have a file, and he'd file his teeth because his thing was to bite people.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. As like an 8 or 9, 10-year-old kid, that was like one of the greatest things ever. This guy's filing his teeth to chew this dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, man. So, like, growing up, who would you say were like some of your like favorite wrestlers, that like guys that you just had to fucking see whenever they were in town or on the telly?
Yeah, when I was a kid, like I said, it was like I had to talk my dad in to go on to see it. But my favorite as a kid was Neil Moskowitz.
Nice, man of 1,000 masks.
Yeah, but then they would have weird matches. Like, I went to the thing where John Tolis had the mystery box, and he was fighting Freddie Blassie, and he pulled a snake out of it. And that's the first time that had ever happened, or that I knew of. And I saw Freddie Blassie versus Don Carson in a Roman Gladiator death bout. I had never seen that before. That was pretty damn cool. They didn't allow that one on TV.
Man, I'm sure they wouldn't allow a lot of, the more brutal matches that I heard about Blassie on television.
Well, they would have it, they would show him chew people. And they would never show him on TV against the Sheik. That's another one. I saw him and the Sheik in a cage match, and that was crazy. With the fire and Sheik's pointed boot with the lead in it, supposed lead in it. I loved him because he'd pull out a pencil, a regular yellow pencil, and stab people with it. I'm like, that's slow. That's nasty.
The Sheik was nuts. What do you expect from the uncle of Sabu?
I know. I watched a thing on was it Netflix? I think, YouTube. Not too long ago, and it was like I just put him in, and they had all these different things about him, and there was one with him and Abdullah in Japan, and there was absolutely no wrestling in it. It was just he beat Abdullah bloody, and Abdullah got mad, and then it went back to him, and it was great.
The bloodier, the better, man.
Oh, it was really good.
So you kind of what would you say would be your favorite thing? Like, what really captivated you about the pro wrestling?
I just like as a kid, you didn't understand that part of it was not real. So as a kid, it was like, whoa. But then I just liked the pageantry and the actual fighting. I never really liked boxing. My dad liked boxing. I never really, liked that. Because wrestling it could be over with in a second. Well, boxing could be too. But wrestling did all kinds of stupid stuff. Like Gorgeous George. Now, of course, I didn't watch that when I was a kid. I saw it later. But the characters, I guess you could say, got me into it. I always loved the dudes with the masks. And then when they started wearing the makeup, I was like, that's cool. The Demolition had both. I was like, all right, I love them.
Oh, yeah. What about the Road Warriors, man?
Yeah, them too. Yeah, totally.
You got one of my favorites from Japan, especially during like the 80s and I'd say early mid-90s, the Great Muta.
Oh, yeah. Muta was really cool. I used to actually, from Japan, who did we see in LA? We saw, was it the Great Kojika sometimes, and sometimes we see Kenji Shibuya.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was like he'd throw salt in people's eyes. That was like his name.
He assaulted them, huh?
Yeah. So that gets a cheese award.
Yeah, right. So like going into, you're talking about character work, and that's a lot of us, growing up watching it in the 80s. That's why we fell in love. And that to me is like some of the best times for, the characters that these guys portrayed, they're still super larger than life, 30 years from the time they were big, like, guys like Hogan and the Warrior, Ric Flair, all that shit. And it's something that's a little lost in translation, I think, in a lot of today's product. I think there are some sweet spots where you can kind of, there's some guys out there that are really kind of knocking it out of the park again.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of characters nowadays. There's more now than there was, say, like 10 years ago, I would say, or 15 years ago. But yeah, because when the stuff I told you about the Olympic Auditorium went off the air, we didn't get cable TV for years and years and years in Southern California. And I had forgotten kind of all about it. I'd seen like little pictures of people like Bob Backlund and stuff, and that's all I saw. And I was like, well, there's no crazy people. And I remember coming home from a practice session, and my roommate goes, you got to watch this show on, I think it was Mondays or Tuesdays, the one that Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan hosted.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because there's all kinds of weird people on that. So the next week I watched it, and I was like, okay, I'm into it again.
Right.
Yeah, because that was the days of like Hacksaw. It was before Hacksaw even.
Mm-hmm.
Started watching it again. It was like Hogan was there, of course, and Roddy Piper breaking the coconut on Snuka's head, and I was like, yeah.
Good old days, man. Good old days.
King Kong Bundy squishing midgets.
No, I love that
WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, he was. What was it? Was it Little Beaver or something, like the little Indian one?
Yeah, the Haiti kid, and
yeah, the Haiti kid. Yep. I love that shit. Like that's something I still like to go back to, and just for a chuckle or whatever. But it's still great, and it takes you back.
Yeah.
Good times, man. So I mean, you've really kind of stuck with wrestling throughout, the ups and downs, then, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, once that happened, and I realized that it was good again, the only thing that we could see was WWF.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah. And then that was all there was. And then when we expanded our cable, I guess you would say, then all of a sudden I could see WCW.
Right.
On the Turner Network. And I was like, whoa, because I had never even heard of people like Ric Flair, because they didn't talk about that on WWF. I was like, whoa, I like these guys too, So now I had two that was going on. And then, of course, when the so-called invasion happened, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, yeah, that was really cool. But I always liked WCW better than WWE.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
WWF at the time, yeah. I thought there were people that weren't characters, like Flair. He kind of was a character, but he didn't wear makeup or a costume. I thought they were much better than WWF's guys who didn't wear makeup and costume. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he was a character kind of, but he was like himself, amped up,
he was just a loudmouth asshole, which
yeah.
great for wrestling. It's perfect. He was made to do that.
Oh, he was the perfect antagonist, and oh man, there's still so many of those famous lines that are like huge today.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, dude, Flair's work is it's fucking amazing. It's legendary, and there's a lot of those guys in WCW too. I mean, yeah, that's where Sting, got his big start, and I remember like in the early '90s. That was like as a kid growing up, Sting was the guy he was WWE without being in WWE.
Yeah. Yeah. He had when he had his like yellow kind of, I don't know what
Surfer
kind of hair
Sting.
you call it. You remember when he was like a guy before he went gothic or whatever? Yeah, he was
He's
totally. It was way cool though, because even though he was kind of like a geek, it didn't matter. He was like their Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was Hogan or Warrior, if you want to put it in. Actually,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he kind of comboed them in a bit, and a little bit of Macho Man, and I loved how he stole Flair's woo.
He totally did.
Yeah,
totally stole that shit. I mean, dude, NWO. So you were watching. You're a big fan of that stuff too, huh?
Oh yeah, we were watching the whole thing when it happened. And the funny thing was, a friend of mine, we were watching it build up, and they're like talking about the mystery guy. And we looked at each other and they were, it would be fucking weird if they had Hogan do it. And he's like, yeah, that's never going to happen. I'm like, yeah. And then when it did, we were like, whoa,
Hell yeah, dude, brother, I shit you not, man. I was a kid. I was watching that, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember like sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, just kind of the back of my mind, I kind of blurred out. I was like, what if it's Hogan? My buddy's like, no, what the hell?
Yeah, they won't do that to him.
Right. And I'll never forget, when he did come out and you hear Bobby Heenan like, is Hogan the third man? And they're like, no, there's no way. And then he drops that leg on the Macho Man. And the rest was history.
Yeah, I read Eric Bischoff's first book that he put out, and he said it was extremely hard, but the only people that knew were himself, Hogan, and the rest.
Yeah.
Macho Man and them, those guys, well, I mean, besides the Outsiders. Macho Man and whoever was Sting or Lex Luger or something, they didn't know. And none of the announcers knew. That's why when Tony Schiavone says, Hulk Hogan, you can go to hell, if that's like a true thing he's saying, that's a shoot. And I was like, that's so cool.
Bang, bang. Yeah, it was super cool. Well, if you read that book, I don't know. I never read that book. What you talk about, like, was it Controversy Creates Cash?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's really good, actually.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I definitely am interested in what Sleazy E has to say. Did you know that Sting was actually the first choice instead of Hogan?
What do you mean, from WWE or?
No, for in the whole NWO thing when they were going to do the third guy.
Oh, really?
They were going to have Sting do it.
That would have worked just as well, actually. But Hogan, I think, though. Wait a minute. Now I think about it, Hogan was better because of all the years of building up the kids to be on his side. Yeah. He just destroyed their world in one shot.
Oh yeah, and you know, and to legitimize the storyline of an invasion, because that's what they portrayed it as. It was. I remember that shit, and it's still real to me. Damn it!
I remember sitting there watching it, the first one, and I was like, "What the fuck are they doing?" And I was looking at it going, "That guy looks like Razor Ramon. That is Razor Ramon. What the hell is this?" You know, because the way they did it, you had no idea that he'd even left the other one.
Right.
That was cool. Whoever the writer, Russo maybe, or whoever wrote that was really good.
I think that was all Bischoff's brainchild. From what I understand.
Much, yeah. I'm thinking about the book now, and I think him and Hall and Nash pretty much once he got their contracts, they figured out a way to do it because they were still kind of under.
I think it was like a handshake.
Where they can appear but not wrestle type things.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, back then, Vince was notorious for taking guys at their word, you know? Like, it ain't like it is now where it's ironclad contracts and you have to wait, 90-day no-compete clauses if you're released or any of that type of shit. But back in the day, same thing with Luger. When he appeared on Nitro, he told Vince, like, yeah, I'm going to sign with him. I'm going to sign. And then he appeared on the first Nitro.
And then he popped up at the first Nitro, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. I love, man, he's getting me all fucking pumped up now thinking about that old shit. What are you watching nowadays that's kind of scratching that itch for you?
Well, since the pandemic, things have changed, of what you can watch. Like, one of my favorites has always been ROH, but now what they're doing is showing, like, showcases of each of their stars. And the guy sits there in his house and he shows his other matches, and that's like really cool. So I'm like still into that. But the best ones I'm watching right now are AEW is number one at the top.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
Impact is close behind. Man, Tessa Blanchard blew fucking chunks. She could have been she was stupid on that, but whatever,
Yeah, that's.
And I like I was fucking around on that Fight app, FITE. Yeah. And I ran across MLW, Major League Wrestling. That's really cool. There's a lot of guys that came from there into AEW, like MJF and Jimmy Havoc. I was like, damn, where do these guys come from? They're really good.
Oh, man.
And I record WWE, all three of them, but I watch them in 4 times fast forward. That's the only way I can stand it. And if I see someone cool like War Machine, who's now, because I hate what WWE does to good people, I'll stop and see if they're going to be like they were, and they're not, and then I'll go past it. Because they ruin everybody they get. I can't fucking stand that.
It's bad. Well, it's what happens when you hire soap opera writers.
He destroyed Punishment Martinez. It could have made him the next Undertaker. He did all the Undertaker's moves. He would have been perfect. Undertaker could have introduced him as his Padawan or whatever you want to fucking call it. No, they have to make him into a dork.
Right, dude, I totally agree, man. That's funny. We share the same sentiment. And back it up to what you said about MLW, I absolutely love MLW. And if you get a chance, go check out our YouTube. We've done many interviews with guys from MLW.
Oh, right on. Yeah, they're good. I love them.
Oh, dude, we've had Hammerstone on the show. Who else?
I was
threatened?
just gonna say they have this dude that's got one of the best names I've ever heard, Alexander Hammerstone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We did the episode was Hammerstone smashed face.
Oh, because the announcers are like, Hammerstone's pounding him. I'm like, that sounds so wrestling.
Right. Yeah, he's a cool dude, man.
He's great. Is he a cool guy? Yeah, that's good.
We also had Joseph Samael on the.
Okay, yeah, from Contra.
Yep, Contra, the new Sheik, I guess you could say. He doesn't really go by the Sheik anymore, but also a former NWA world champion.
I didn't know that. Cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and Richard Holiday as well.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to hate him.
Right, and all those guys are super cool.
What's that other guy? EC3. They would be a good tag team.
Yeah, did you see? Speaking of that, did you catch Slammiversary at all?
No, but was it EC3? Was he the?
No. Well, they did tease him. He is back, and he'll be on Access TV tomorrow. Eric Young.
Oh, good. My wife's not a big fan, but that's one of the people that she likes. She liked him because he pulled his pants down and chased the ref around. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great reason to like.
She loved ODB, so when they got together, she just thought that was fucking great.
Hell yeah, ODB. She's got that
that's
food
cool.
truck.
Yeah, I kind of thought, they led you to believe it was going to be EC3, but they kept showing Eric. I'm like, how was Eric? Did you?
Dude, it was. No, he actually got eliminated. Who won the Eddie Edwards?
Oh, good. He's the one I wanted to win.
Yeah,
because I can't really afford pay-per-views, so I just kind of watch the highlights from them and stuff.
Dave, we got to hook you up with a Fire Stick, brother.
What you telling me about that? But I was hoping that it would be Eddie Edwards out of all of the four, because it didn't really. I thought if it wasn't Eddie, it was going to be Ace, and I'm not a big Ace fan. I got used to him. I hated him at the beginning, but I got really used to him.
What about that T-shirt he had? What is it? It's like Ace Austin.
Oh, I banged your wife. I was like, no, dude, that's still not cool.
I know, right? But that's why it is cool, because it's horrible.
Yeah. I bet they sold a buttload of them shirts too.
Oh man, I bet
like 50 cents to make a black shirt with white letters.
Right? Dude, you know who else came back though? That I was super pumped about the fucking Motor City Machine Guns, man.
Together?
Yeah, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
Cool.
We've been fortunate enough to see Alex Shelley at some of the promotions we're at. We're up here in like Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana.
I was going to ask you if you were from Chicago, because I know wrestling's always been very popular up there.
It's the mecca of pro wrestling right now. When all this BS with COVID ain't going on. I mean, dude, we got so many promotions up here that bring in
there's all kinds
the
of pay-per-views would come out of Chicago.
Oh yeah, we went to AEW All Out. Like I said, there's a place called Warrior Wrestling. Sren's actually rocking the T-shirt right now.
I've heard of them. Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, we're always at the Fan Fest, getting to talk to the wrestlers and cutting it up with them guys. And dude, a lot of people we've met there they're all in AEW right now, or Impact, like the Rascals. I've seen them on occasion. They are so fucking awesome. We saw what was it, Sren? The Rascals versus Chaos from New Japan. So it was Amazing Red, who isn't really a member of Chaos.
I know who he is. Yeah.
Rocky Romero and.
Rocky Romero used to be in Coast to Coast, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Not that one. Crap. They had the stupid name. Something Vice.
Oh, Roppongi Vice. Okay. Yeah. Who was Coast to Coast? I can't think of that.
Who was that? It was Kenny King and the Octopus. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. It was
Gresham?
Kenny King.
No, I think Kenny King was in it.
Gresham? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't.
Anybody out there listening, let us know in the comments,
Yeah, exactly.
Tell us we're fucking dumb.
It's weird because a few years ago they had the WrestleCon here in New Orleans. So I went to a few shows, and Combat Zone did a show. But because of the stupid rules, which we all think that it was because it was WrestleMania weekend, they couldn't use any weapons or anything like that. So they introduced a bunch of new people, and I saw like AC Romero I'd never seen, and Dez from the Rascals was going under his name Desmond Xavier. Yeah, I remember leaving going, that dude is going to be famous. because he was just incredible. And I was like, man, whoever this Desmond dude is, I know I'm going to be seeing him.
Dude, when I first saw him on Impact, maybe a couple years ago now, and he wasn't with the Rascals or anything, because they would bring him in as like, I guess I wouldn't really say a jobber per se, but you know, like in a lot of those X Division matches, they'll put like 6 dudes in the match, or have Ultimate X, and so they'll bring in like some one-time job guys or whatever.
Yeah,
and he was in there,
shot in front of the people and stuff.
Yeah, trying them out, much like AEW does with Dark, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, I haven't watched much of them, but what I've seen is good.
Oh yeah, it's cool, and there's a lot of our homies from the Chicagoland that are getting opportunities on Dark this summer. You know, like Robert Ego Anthony, Lego my ego Anthony, and I'm really excited because I really think that Warhorse is going to end up on Dynamite against Cody. They've alluded to it. Arn Anderson even said, "Why don't you give that Warhorse kid a shot?" Well, he'll probably be on Dynamite. Have you heard of Warhorse?
Nuh-uh.
Oh, dude, he's the current reigning and defending independent wrestling champ. He makes his rounds on the indies, man. And his gimmick, I guess, that he kind of adopted within the past year and a half. Dude, he's just a heavy metal dude. He comes out with the fucking to Metallica 4 Horsemen, and he's just headbanging all the fucking time. He's got the belt, dude, and he's just man, you're going to have to look up some of his matches on YouTube, Dave. I'm telling you, this dude is awesome, and he's all about the headbanging. Like, and it's cool because you see little kids getting into him. Little kids are throwing up the horns and headbanging and shit, and I'm like, yes, put the microphone down. Rap is crap. Remember the West Texas Rednecks?
That's cool.
But, yeah, get back to Impact, though. Slammiversary. So, yeah, you had the Motor City Machine Guns. They answered the open challenge to the Rascals. That match was fire as hell. And then who was it? The North.
With Moose and Tommy Dreamer.
Oh, Moose won.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Spoiler alert. And they got a white strap now for the TNA Heavyweight Championship.
A white one?
Yeah, it's white. It's weird.
Okay, that is weird. Well, I don't know about, like, what is it? Cody's belt looks like a Budweiser can.
I like Budweiser.
Big time.
Dude, everybody's been ripping it, and here's my thing. It's like, at first it was like, well, they came out and said that it wasn't finished due to COVID and all that.
Yeah.
But it's been like a month or two now. Like, come on, man. Some restrictions were lifted. Shit's spiking again. Like, why couldn't they get the belt done real quick? So they can shut up all these marks. You know? Like,
I'm kind of getting used to it now, though.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You can come out and drink Budweiser.
Oh, I would love that. Have fucking Lee Ving from Fear play him to the ring.
Yeah. It's better than the Bud Light that or whoever drinks.
Oh, Mance Warner?
No, on AEW. Who's hey, Adam Page. He drinks.
Oh yeah,
a Miller Lite. That's what it is. That's what Kenny Omega brought to the ring too.
Yeah, Kenny's straight edge though. He don't fuck around with any of them.
Yeah. I didn't like him at first when I saw him in ROH because they called him the cleaner and he walked on with a broom. And I was like, no.
I like that.
He's one of my favorites now. He's fucking great. The loser, man, he's dynamite. Yeah.
Dude, he is.
FTR. Those dudes, no.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I think it's cool that they're there because they're a good throwback tag team, you know?
Yeah, that's what their trip is, yeah.
Right. And AEW, man, they just have a stacked fucking tag division. It's the best tag division I've ever seen.
They got a lot of good people, like really good people. And they got some people, and everyone has people that you hate and everyone has people that you love. You know. I posted it on my Facebook page like 2 or 3 times. I want Mil Muertes to come to AEW and challenge Lance Archer.
Oh yeah, Ricky Banderas. Yeah,
that would be a badass. Like, okay, come here, motherfucker. You want to just do a death match with Death?
Yeah, dude. See, and that's so cool. That's a gimmick that and we'll get to Lucha here in a second because I want to talk to you about that. Because that's something near and dear to my heart is Lucha Underground. But I don't know why. I obviously don't know the business side of like that gimmick. I think he is still using it on the indies because when we talk to Samael, he runs PCW Ultra out there in Cali. And, he's going under, Mil Muertes. And, dude, how badass is it to have essentially the Mexican Undertaker is what he is,
Pretty much. That's what I always thought. As soon as I saw him, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, but you don't feel like it's necessarily a straight ripoff. You know,
it's not
like,
a ripoff at all. He's like the Day of the Dead guy.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
And I loved how when he does his coffin matches, he has all the people with the makeup and shit. That's fucking great.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love to see him in AEW. There's a lot of guys, you know. I think Eva Lise,
She is.
yeah, she's going to be wrestling.
She's actually gonna be on day after tomorrow. She's making her debut on TV on AEW.
Oh yeah. So one of the pictures I did see, you were rocking a Lucha Underground shirt, and when I say that, that's like near and dear to my heart, even though it's still relatively new, even though it seems to be a defunct brand now.
Yeah, it is. They only did 4 seasons.
Man, though, what an impact that they had on the wrestling community and product as a whole. Because if you look at the way a lot of things are shot now in the cinematic wise and storytelling, if it's done right, and Impact owes a lot to Lucha Underground.
And there's people that guy never did that move before because he saw it on Lucha.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it reminded me of ECW. I got that ECW vibe from watching that.
Especially in the original Temple. It was dirty and like there was no security, and you know people told the fans to move and they fell into them. I was like, this is badass right here,
dude. There was so much. It was like watching I mean, you had the wrestling, but you didn't even feel like you were watching wrestling. It was like watching a straight up fucking action movie, you know, for an hour.
And they had the weird plot where they kept saying that the wrestling was a front for this weird demon they were going to bring back or something. I was like, this is really trippy. It's like a bizarre movie.
Yeah. You know, kudos to Robert Rodriguez for, you know, helping get that off the ground.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time. He was like the man. But yeah, and there's a lot of people, like both Lucha Brothers came out of that. And there's who else? There's other people now.
Oh, dude.
Jeremiah Crane is Sammy Callahan, you know.
Yep.
All kinds
Brian
of people
Cage.
came out there. Cage.
It
Joey
reinvigorated.
Ryan.
Yep, Joey. Well, whoa, we can't say Joey Ryan.
I love Joey Ryan.
You know what? I do too, and I did, and whatever. I love the gimmick. I love the wrestler. He, well, I don't know if you heard about. There was this whole thing in the speaking out movement that happened recently. And I'm not going to dive too much into it, but let's just say
let's not get political.
Yeah, he was named as far as like doing some fucked up shit.
Oh, well then, yeah. I mean, I just like his gimmick. He was like taking Rick Rude
touch my dick
further, you know.
Yeah, he was. To me, he was Rick Rude and Val Venus combined, you know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, because if Val Venus could have thought about putting a lollipop in his pants, or Rick Rude, they would have done it.
Yeah, right. It was funny. It was good shit, man. And Lucha brought a lot of those characters, and you're exactly right. A lot of those guys, they're all spread out.
Luchasaurus. That's the first time I saw him.
Yeah. He was another guy, and it's weird too because a lot of those guys were like, unbeknownst to me at the time, were like developmental talent from WWE because they had what's his name, Chris Sretton, you remember his name? One of the writers, one of the head guys there from Lucha. He just went back to WWE, and then they fired him again recently. Anyways, but maybe he was the one bringing these guys in. I mean, fuck, they even had Rey Mysterio, you know, Alberto El Patron.
I heard Conan and Chavo had a lot to do with bringing the guys into it too, because Chavo was like an executive producer or something.
Yeah, and Conan, I mean, it was basically AAA's venture into the American wrestling market, and I man, it's a shame that it didn't last. You know, I mean, I
think they kind of. It seemed to me, because if you watch the very, very first episode, Dario Cueto introduces and says what he's going to do at a big, huge AAA event. I think it was set up to get these people where they are now. I don't think it was ever supposed to be a long-going promotion. I think it was supposed to be a giant showcase for all these guys. That's what it seems like. Yeah.
It's just a shame, though, because I
know. I missed it so bad. Tubi TV, we talked about that. They have all 4 seasons. You can just binge the shit out of that.
Oh, yeah. And I have.
I did, too. Because I didn't start watching it till right before the first Ultima Lucha. So I was like, whoa. I could see the whole beginning leading up to that, you know, with Vampiro and Pentagon.
I was just going to say that match, man. And that match, and kudos to Vampiro, dude. And that whole storyline was great because as a wrestling fan, especially if you like the dark characters. I mean, I was a huge fan of Vampiro.
Oh, I was
back
too.
in the
He was
day.
one of my favorites.
Hell yeah, and he was hanging with the Misfits and shit, and fuck
Yeah.
the ICP shit. But you know, he was such a cool character, and he was great in ring. And dude, he's like a legend down in Mexico.
Yeah.
To have him give you the rub, and Pentagon was already cool. He was already had this mystique to him, as this dark figure. He had the arm breaking move. You know, it was like,
God, I love that. The breaker of
Oh.
bones.
yeah, it was great. Everything was so cool. Every
And
fucking thing they
his trip
did.
with his mask. With his
Oh yeah.
mask with the makeup is really fucking cool. Because when he talks to you, you can see his lips moving. It's even creepier.
Oh yeah. You want to hear something weird? I've seen him without his mask. Him and Ray Phoenix. It's pretty weird. I think I love Ray Phoenix, but he kind of looked like Ren from Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, I love Ray Phoenix too, but I always liked Prince Puma better.
Yeah.
And that's WWE ruined him too. He was Ricochet in Japan, and you couldn't even watch him. He moves so fast. Then they get him, he doesn't do any of his. I'm like, okay.
Well, yeah, he's that one match is a perfect example. Him and Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay was the other one I was going to tell you.
No,
It was
he's
him,
great too.
Rocky Romero, Amazing Red teamed up to go against the Rascals at Warrior Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
It was
Yeah, I
fucking
saw Will
insane.
Ospreay at the convention thing.
Hell yeah, dude. He's on another level. And those two matches, was it 2 or 3 matches he had with Ricochet? It was just, I remember Vader kind of getting pissed at it. And there were some old timers there like, what is wrestling? Like, shut the fuck up. You know? Like everything evolves, everything. It's great. And what do you know, this ain't, you know, like the 80s or the 70s. Well, 70s was actually, I mean, yeah, there was headlocks and shit, but to me, the 70s wrestling always seemed more brutal than like a lot
Kind
of
of
the
where
shit
I
in the
lost
80s.
track. That's when it kind of wasn't on TV for me. Yeah, but it was more. Yeah, it was like break the guy's head with a headlock.
yeah, but everything
Yeah, from like
changes.
videos I've seen. Yeah, I mean, like the early '70s, I was watching it, but the late '70s, I didn't get to see it.
You say you're a big ROH fan too, and ROH. I mean, dude, they were on fire for so long.
Oh
and,
man, the pandemic fucked them up. They were rolling.
yeah, and they were just getting back into the groove too, because
Yeah.
they kind of took a big hit when the Elite and everybody left. I think them and New Japan. I mean, New Japan's still pretty strong has a really strong fan base, but and then there you heard about some backstage and some business decisions that they were making at ROH that were really fucking questionable. But they put Marty Scurll like as basically the lead booker, paid him a bunch of money, and he was starting to make amends with people and get shit rolling again. And then
Here we are. Actually, I heard that he was trying to do something with AEW, kind of along the lines of the Invasion thing with ROH, and I was like,
That would be
was
great.
great. Yeah, that was like he
mean,
was like talking to him and shit before this happened. That would have been fucking badass.
dude, that's what
I
they
guess
need. That's-
revenge on the Elite for leaving, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that would be cool, and that's
That
so
would have been
cool
good.
because it's not like a typical like NWO storyline. Well, how many times does that happen? You had
These
aces
guys are
and eights.
legitimately mad.
Yeah,
Fucked us around, assholes, and we finally found you, kind of thing.
yeah, that would have been great. And here's
That would
the
have been
thing,
great
in order-
with him and PCO and what's the big? I keep forgetting his name. The big giant guy that's in
From-
Berlin Enterprises. Crap.
Oh,
Brody King.
Brody King, yeah.
Yeah, those three could come in and destroy. Just fuck up the Inner Circle and the Elite. Just like pick on everyone.
Hell yeah. Dude, PCO's the shit too. He's a good friend of the show. I talk to him like almost every other day, man.
Yeah. Who is?
PCO.
Oh, PCO. Yeah, I met him once. He was super cool.
Dude, the guy. And he's another dude. He's an absolute legend. And to see where he's came from, like in this day and age with that gimmick, that PCO gimmick is the shit. Have you been keeping up with the weekly videos he does?
Monday night no, I saw. I had his. I saved his. What I told you, his spotlight when ROH put him on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I remember him when he was the pirate and when he was the Mountie dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude, he was also, he was in the Brawl for All, man.
Oh, really? Cool. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Did you watch any of that that kind of just gave me a little segue, and then forgive me, I have ADD, so we're gonna go all over the motherfucking place tonight. But it's good because you know your shit, you know. So, what the fuck was I gonna say? Dark Side of the Ring.
I've watched some of it. I like some of it. I watched, man, the one with New Jack is great.
Yeah.
Oh God, with Grimes, and when he's on the ground, he goes, "We're even, motherfucker." Oh, dude, I mean, he says that with that one guy. You punched me in my eye. I didn't stab him 11 times. I only stabbed him 9 times. It's like, that makes a difference, New Jack. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Dude, Jack just straight. It don't get
That's
more.
a gnarly motherfucker. You want to hear a weird story?
Yeah.
I went to ECW Heatwave 2000. It was the only
No shit.
show pay-per-view they ever did in LA, and I actually got front row tickets and lucked out because we were across from the hard cameras. So if you watch that, you'll see me with my ECF and W shirt on. I had my head shaved at the time, though.
I'm watching.
New Jack was supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And they announced to everybody in line waiting to go in that he wasn't going to be there because LA wouldn't release him because he had a knee injury or something from doing a jump. And we're like, oh, that's fucked, blah, blah, blah. And if you ever saw that pay-per-view, that's why he runs in and gets beat up because they're not actually allowing him to do his thing. So he comes out to everybody waiting in line on his crutches. And he goes, "This is some motherfucking shit." And he throws his crutches down. He goes, "I ain't hurt." And he starts dancing. And we're all yelling, "New Jack, New Jack, New Jack." And he's like, "Fuck these motherfuckers, don't let me wrestle, motherfucker." And I was like, God, he'd be great. He was like throwing the crutches all pissed off and shit.
Dude, it don't get more real than New Jack. He just
he was full blown mad about it.
He's a guy that you don't want to piss off, and you don't want to try to go you don't want to do anything to cross that dude. He will fuck you up.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, because he doesn't give a shit. He's like, whatever.
Yeah. So what? You watched a lot of ECW back in the day. I mean, you rocking that ECF and W shirt. I mean,
yeah. Well, that was a weird thing because I was like up really late, just like kind of channel surfing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and I subscribed to Pro Wrestling Illustrated, so I knew who they were. I'd seen pictures, but there wasn't on. I'm like, whoa, hold on. And I backed up to this channel called Prime Ticket. All they ever did was show every single Kings game, Lakers game, whatever football was.
Yeah.
Always, like 24/7. So if you missed it, you could see it. And for some weird reason, there was an hour of ECW. I went by and I was like, wait, I know that guy. And it was Kaz doing an interview with this black hood thing on. It's like, that's the dude from that weird wrestling, right? And then they went to a commercial, came back with the Dudleys. I went and grabbed my magazine. I'm like, fucking hell, this is. So I set up my tape and started watching them. That was way before TNN. And then they went off the air in about 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Yeah. But I got the 800 number. So I called them all the time and ordered videos and shirts and catalogs and stuff. So by the time they came on TNN, I knew all about them.
Dude, me and my buddy Eddie, Big Ed the Assassin, what up, Ed? We used to do that shit too. Dude, they came out here, this is towards the end, fuck, what was this, 99, was it? Maybe 2000, Gary, Indiana, man.
God.
Yeah.
They were doing their final tours at that time.
Oh yeah, dude. We've also had I had Johnny Swinger has been on the show.
Right on. He's
real cool
stupid
dude.
in Impact right now, but whatever.
Oh, I love it, dude. I love his theme music.
Shut the fuck up.
It's great, dude. He's like all the where's all the Rizats?
Yeah, he's alluded to Simon Diamond. I hope he comes on. Remember Simon and Swinger?
Oh yeah, dude. Simon Diamond's a South Bend boy. He's he's from around our parts. Dude, they were tag champs in ECW, TNA when TNA first got going. I don't know what Simon's up to anymore. I know for a long time he was a producer for TNA. He's
really, that's cool.
I don't know if he'll ever get back in the ring because last time I seen him, the dude was probably about 300 plus.
Ooh.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, a lot of them got kind of big. It was kind of sad to see Johnny Grunge at the end. He was huge.
Oh yeah. Both him and Rocco Rocker, they're both dead.
Yeah.
It's dude, you go down the ECW roster though, and a lot of those guys they're gone. I mean, really in any wrestling roster. It's unfortunate, and I do this
For
weird
the
game.
ECW guys too, you wonder, wow, how is this dude still fucking here? Like Sabu and stuff. Like, how are they still wrestling? I mean, not
Yeah,
way. I was like, how in this is this guy still doing this?
dude, I'll tell you
When
what,
you
and
see some of the shit, like when Benoit flips Sabu and he breaks his neck.
breaks his neck. Yeah,
Good Lord, you know.
it's crazy. And Sabu, I'll tell you what, it's we had him on the show too. It's all he knows, man. It's he's the type of guy that I think will die in the fucking ring, man. He's
Yeah,
just,
kind of almost like his uncle. His uncle retired. I haven't watched the last match yet. I saw it on. I was like, ooh, I gotta watch that.
right. We also had Bill Alfonso on, and we've had Fonzie on a couple
cool.
times.
I'm a Facebook fan with him.
Hell yeah, dude. Fonzie, I gotta hit you up. I looked you up on Facebook. I couldn't find you. He's trying to hide from the juice, Dave. Don't do it.
Well, no, it's under. Actually, what happened? I had one Facebook under my middle name Charles, and it got hacked. So I've been telling everyone, don't go to that. Just go to Dave Chandler, and you'll see my dumbass standing on stage. I'm actually wearing a Mikey Whipwreck shirt in the picture.
Nice.
I'm
Dude, Mikey
friends with
does a
him on Facebook,
podcast.
too. We talk on the phone all the time. He's a huge St. Vitus fan.
Yeah, fuck yeah, he is, dude. A lot of those dudes, and you know, Jerry Lynn's a big metalhead too, man.
Yeah, he wants me to. Actually, before the week, I was going to go on their podcast, but
Yeah, we had the guy who runs their show on FR, the Front Row Material.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's Jerry Lynn, Mikey Whipwreck, and then what's his name? Sretton Mike. I'm gonna get the shit. Well, I had some Trulies in me, but anyways, dude's really cool. I mean, he's super nice guy. He does a great job.
Because I actually got with this other guy on Facebook who happens to be the godfather of Mikey's kids.
Wow.
And I'm like, are you serious? And so he told Mikey, and Mikey's like, oh fuck. And he told me, and I'm like, oh fuck. So when I called him, I was really nervous. I didn't know what to say, and I said, man, I'm a fanboy, so I'm fucking nervous. He goes, so am I. I don't know what to say to you.
How does that work when you got two fanboys, like just both nervous? Like,
That kind of made it easy.
let's hang up at the same
Because
time.
the other one, we were both like, oh, okay, cool. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we
Dude, that's
talked
awesome.
a whole lot. You know, it's like way cool.
Has there been any other guys like in the wrestling community that kind of came up to you like that, like as fans of the music and everything?
No, not really. I've heard rumors about people here and there, but you know, there is a guy on the independent scene. He was a Southern champion for a while. His name's Joey Corman. Mm-hmm. He's a huge Vitus fan. He's a friend of mine, and I met him. He came out to the shows and stuff, but you know, no, actually, there's a guy. Do you know our local wrestling, Wildcat Sports?
I've heard of them. Yeah,
they're actually the ones where the kid jumped off of the balcony at the mall.
That was
viral. That's them.
That was Luke Hawk's. I think Luke Hawk's son,
Hawks
PJ
is
Hawks.
a friend of mine. It's like he
no shit
to do like a riff to somebody when they walk to the ring if they can never do it again. Yeah. And his son is the one who jumped off. Yeah, we started off on Facebook and then we exchanged numbers. You know, yeah. I've gone out to see him all the time. He's like, hey man, what's going on now?
That's super fucking cool, man. And I'll tell you what, cool. I remember him like from, I want to say early, like mid 2000s.
He was in XPW. He was Altar Boy Luke.
Yep. Altar Boy's a sacrifice. He it was weird seeing him on NWA, and I was like, man, that's his son. It's like the dude he looks good. Like, and that's his son.
Luke was in Combat Zone for a while too. He said.
Yeah. He's a journeyman. He's been around a long time.
And he's a stunt man. He's like, if the second Black Panther movie ever comes out, he's one of the main stunt doubles for Black Panther. And he's in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He's in a bunch of TV shows. The bald guy who gets beat up and beats people up. You know?
It makes sense because wrestlers are stunt men and women.
He's a super fucking cool guy.
Man, I've been. That's awesome. I'll have to see if I can't get in touch, or if you could put out the good word for a good brother. You know.
When this thing comes out, send me. Yeah, because I want to hear it and watch it or whatever, and I'll send it on a link to him. 'Cause the funny thing was, I was kind of with him on Facebook under Charles, because he'd see me go to the shows, and he goes, "Are you on my Facebook?" I'm like, "No, blah, blah, blah." Okay. And when that got hacked, I contacted certain people and said, "Go to this one." He didn't know I was in St. Vitus. He had no idea.
Yeah.
And when he saw that, now all of a sudden I have his number, and I was like, okay. So he was like a fan who had or researched it and became a fan, who had no idea. And I was like, well, that's fucking kick-ass. So yeah, definitely send me, the thing, and I'll send it. I'll send the link to him, because I know he's going to want to see it. So yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Maybe you could talk to him. That'd be kick-ass. And running a local promotion in New Orleans, talking about the lockdown and shit. That'd probably be good.
Yeah, I'm down for whatever, and that's like the great thing about this show. There's no constraints. There's a lot of people, and this is no knock to, because everybody, hey, you're entitled to do your own thing or whatever. But there's a lot of people that like do recaps, and just shit like that. And I like to just come at it from a different direction. I love getting everybody involved that's a fan. We've had a lot of talent on the show. We've had promoters, we had referees, fans, people that are nobodies, no disrespect to them, but it's just like my buddy or something.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and it keeps it I think it keeps it fresh, and it gives it a cool perspective. And I like to build that type of community, where I can get just people who are genuine wrestling fans and, really into what's going on in pro wrestling. And like to have a guy like you on here, it's super fucking cool. It's an honor,
Well, thank you. You know who you should send a line out to is Clayton, the singer from Any Scene.
Oh, no shit.
Massive wrestling fan. He brings a barbed wire baseball bat on stage and cuts himself. He has a whole album of only wrestling songs that he gave me. Yeah. He's a huge fan. He
I'm
great.
Totally fucking down.
He would be great, yeah.
I think, you ever heard of Schlack?
Mm-mm. Oh, wait, the wrestler?
The deathmatch dude. He does a band and shit. He's a big old dude. I think he's got a connection to them guys too.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I can forward your thing to Clayton. He's a friend of mine. So yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
He would be great.
Dave,
he would be really good.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Anti-Scene fan too. So I wasn't really. It's cool when you get to make all these connections and new friendships and do this shit. And like I said, it's building a community, and a positive community. It's like we're not here to shit on anybody. We're just here to fucking share good stories and good times.
You know that, you probably know this, that AEW's The Butcher is the rhythm guitar player from Every Time I Die.
Yep. Yeah, Andy. It's weird because I went to so Black Label Pro is a promotion that runs out here in Crown Point, Indiana. Crown Point famous for who, Sretton?
John Dillinger?
John Dillinger, there you go. I was trying to, whatever. Sometimes he gets it, sometimes he don't. Motherfucker. Anyways, so they had a one-off show out in South Bend, and me and my old lady pull up, and like someone, I talked to her before, like somebody parked next to us. It's like, man, how cool would it be, like some badass wrestler like pulls right up next to us or something. It's like, yeah, that'd be cool. And then I shit you not, like here Andy comes like pulling up, and he gets out. I was like, holy fuck, it's the Butcher. I was like, I just rolled my window down. I was in the driver's seat. She's sitting in the passenger seat, and I'm like, hey man, what's going on? Like, my name's Justin Juice. I do the podcast. Like, here's some stickers, some swag and shit. And he was super cool, dude. He was really cool, nice guy. I met Joey Ryan the same night for the first time, and he was also
that was
super
cool. AEW, I guess.
Yeah. This was I want to say a year ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because they haven't been in AEW that long, and to be honest,
they haven't. They got kind of screwed by the epidemic or whatever too. They were just getting there, and then bam.
Yeah, I was surprised that they showed up. I mean, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but it was just kind of like I didn't hear anything about them. There was this promotion called what was it? Sretton Black Craft Wrestling, I think. So they had what's his name who plays Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Oh yeah, I know who you mean, but I don't know his name.
Yeah, I forget his name too. Damn it, truly. So they had him as like their it's David something. It's gonna come to me like 10 minutes later.
When we hang up, you'll remember, yeah.
Yeah, right. Like son of a bitch. he was like their GM or whatever, and it was kind of like a dark, I don't want to say satanic thing, but they had satanic overtones, just like the evil vibes,
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of like those dark gimmicks I saw for the first time, like PCO when he started coming as the monster with D Destro and Butcher and the Blade, and I was like, man, they got a lot of cool like dark gimmicks, and then I guess they folded or they had like 1 or 2 shows and they were done, but I never knew what the hell was going on with Butcher and the Blade, so it was really cool to see him pop up in AEW. And then a lot of people were like, "Oh, who the hell is this? Like, that's not a big surprise." I'm like, "That's pretty fucking cool,
Yeah, it
So
tripped
many
me out
sour
because
grapes.
it's like when the Blade took his mask off, his gimp mask off. I was like, why do I know that guy? And then I looked it up, and it was Braxton Sutter. It's like, that's why I know him. I wondered where he went.
Pepper Parks.
I always liked him,
Yeah, he's another guy that's been around too. He's married to Allie.
Yeah. Oh, they're married?
Yeah, they're married.
Oh, I didn't know that. But she's now. I don't like her and what's Brandy being
The Nightmare
nightmares.
Sisters.
Yeah.
He said female nightmares. I have those all the time. Trust me.
I like their arguments, but it's like, okay, well, I can do without this. I liked it better when she was with that weirdo and everyone hated her for being with him. What was his name? I think Apple, QT.
Oh, QT Marshall. Yeah. Well, she's still with him. I think he's hurt or something, or there's.
Well, I think what happened was what I heard was, it was a Facebook thing, whether it's true or not, but the reason that Moxley, that thing got delayed was because him and QT, I guess, were working out near a girl that they brought in from WWE who was found out to be positive.
Yeah. Well, I know
So
Moxley,
they delayed everything, so maybe QT's worried about it. That's what I was thinking.
It could be. I heard the same thing, but I thought I heard what's her name, Renee Young from WWE tested positive, and she's married to Moxley. So.
Oh, okay. Well, Moxley
but...
did his thing with Cage. So.
Yeah. Hey, what'd you think of the finish on that?
I thought it was shitty. I knew that somehow Moxley was not going to lose because Cage is still fine because he had Taz's belt. I didn't like Taz throwing the towel in. I would have rather have him gone outside and have it be a DQ.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of like pussy for Cage's image. I thought.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It was a weird. We'll see what they say on Dynamite.
I knew what the outcome was going to be, but because they had given Cage that belt, I didn't. I'm not a Cage fan in any way. I never liked him at all. I don't like. It's like, dude, stop sucking the steroid drink. What the fuck's wrong with you?
It's got that Scottish Star juice.
He didn't hook up with Melissa Santos, so I got to give you that.
Yeah, we've talked to both of them at Warrior. She's been on the show too. She's made an appearance. So good for him, Cage. Good on you. What do you, I love. What do you think of the FTW title coming back? I thought that was fucking cool, man. Old ECW Mark in me was just like, yeah.
No, I like that a lot. I
don't know if Cage is necessarily
the right. I was hoping that Taz was going to whip out the hardcore title.
Oh, like the WWF one?
No, because they stole that from ECW. Taz started that in ECW. They had a hardcore title, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, the world title. I mean, it was hardcore wrestling. So the world title.
I would like to have seen that, but the FTW one is really cool. I was like,
I love it because we cut an episode a few episodes back too called FTW. So I'm kind of like a soothsayer.
Orange and everything. I was like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Taz
it's awesome
all the way.
Taz can cut one hell of a promo, man. For a long time, I didn't like his commentary. When he got the Impact, it was just like, God, he's so fucking like, just shut up, take your yam bags and go somewhere else, And he did, and he took a break, and he came back, and I like what he was doing on Dark.
Yeah, he's good. He's good at what he's doing now. I think better than being commentary.
Oh yeah, it's very cool. And speaking of commentary, it's really awesome that with AEW you get that I call it like the classic package. You get Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross together. Like it's so great.
They can Excalibur can take a walk though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I ain't a fan of. I like it
Do
when
tell.
Jericho sits in. When Jericho sits in with Shivani and Jim Ross, that's great.
Jericho is gold, and man, if he ever stops in ring, he's got to make the transition because he can make any
Like
promotion.
when he got the orange juice or supposedly dumped on him, he sits down. Jim Ross goes, "You stink." I'm like, that's totally great.
Yeah, it's like over the $7,000 coat. Yeah, Orange Cassidy. He hates. Dude, I love that shit he's doing with Orange Cassidy, man.
I don't like him, but I like what they're doing with him and Jericho because I didn't like Orange, so at least they're doing something with him.
Yeah, I think he's good. He can go. He's showing people. He's got a unique gimmick. You know, there's a lot of guys that they brought in from the Indies that have that, and they're kind of showcasing.
Although I tell you, if I had to choose between him and Darby Crash, I'll take him. I can't stand anything about Darby Crash.
Oh, Darby Allin. Darby Crash
Allen.
from the Germs. Yeah, I thought you liked the Germs, man. Come on.
I know, but that's what bugs me about it. Dude, you are not Darby Crash. You are not Gigi Allen. Skateboarding is not cool anymore. You look like a geek. You can't do good promos, and you're wearing leggings under your shirt.
You heard it here on Juice Pro Wrestling, man. It's a fucking shoot.
Sorry.
No, hey, man. You got to apologize.
Drop is a lame move.
Yeah. I like it a little bit, but yeah, it's I think it's kind of a fucking ignorant move. I mean,
no, out of the way and watch him fall. It's like, okay.
Watch him fall.
If he ever does it on someone who doesn't want to, like, do it right, is just
right.
They're just going to step aside.
Yeah, it's definitely a life and career shortening move.
Mm-hmm. That's the only thing cool about it. It is dangerous, but it's like I'd rather have that hit me than someone doing a 450 or a destroyer off the top rope.
Well, it's also some. I don't know if he took it or not, but I remember seeing Jeff Hardy do it. Maybe for the first time in Impact, and it wasn't necessarily the coffin drop, but it was that back drop where he just jumped and like didn't look and just kind of fell backwards because. You know, we're talking fucking Jeff Hardy, who has no wherewithal for his fucking life.
So,
yeah. Brother Nero.
Oh God, that's I love that too. I like when he becomes what's the guy?
Willow.
1,000 years old.
Oh, Broken Matt.
Yeah, when he becomes
I forget what's his name.
Damascus or something.
Damascus, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's great too. Now, do you watch Being the Elite?
No, I watched a little bit. I watched the one where the brothers trained each other at their house. I thought that was pretty cool.
Dude, they're it's so unique. It's and it's cool because they tie in some storylines to like Dynamite and Dark and whatever. But man, dude, Matt Hardy, he's all like these different characters. Like it was on this week, he walks in the door and he's like, well, him and Matt Jackson are walking and Matt's like, come in my office. And he goes in. As soon as he goes in, he's like, all of a sudden he's Big Money Matt from ROH. He's like, oh, man, not B. He's like, can you just walk the hell out of my office and come back as a guy who's not such a prick, you know? Like,
right.
And he's, he's doing his shtick and everything. And you got Broken Matt Hardy who comes in. He freezes up time when they'll say a word that's like a industry inside business word, like shoot or fucking mark or something like that, or heat. And he's like, stop the multiverse. Heat is or blown up was the one he did. Blown up is like when a guy looks like he's exhausted and he cannot clearly perform athletically in the ring anymore. That shit cracks me up. And then he leaves.
He's really good at it too.
Yeah, and he comes back and he comes back in. He's the Matt Hardy that looks like the OG Matt Hardy. He looks like the Young Bucks, you know. He's got like the gear on. He's talking about how Matt like ripped off his gimmick, how Matt Jackson did. He's like, you guys stole my gig, man. It's like, what else are you gonna steal? He's like, where'd my money go?
That's funny. Because when I first saw them, the Young Bucks, I hated them. I'm like, these dudes are dressed like the Rockers and they want to be the Hardys. I hate them. But
yeah.
They grew on me. I was like, okay, well, they can actually go. So I still don't like them, but I'll deal with them.
Oh man, they've done They've done so much, though. You know,
Yeah, they really
for
have.
the wrestling business.
They have they've helped out the sport a lot.
Oh man, yeah, their contribution, and like guys like Kenny Omega and
Oh yeah, like the whole thing. They basically, them and Cody and Kenny and Jericho did the whole thing. So there you go.
yeah, and Cody's another guy I've said many times on here. I didn't like him in WWE. I couldn't stand the Stardust shit.
I liked him when he wore the makeup as Stardust, but other than that, I thought he was dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, like I just didn't really care for him. And when he went to ROH and he started doing his shit there, and he became the champ and the Kiss the Ring and all that, the same thing that MJF he kind of bequeathed on him. Man, I was like, dude, I get it now. Like Cody, I hate to admit it, but he's growing on me. And then what he's become, it's like, damn, I'm waiting for. Here's what I want. Two things real quick before we end here.
Okay.
AEW. I want a heel Kenny Omega, and I want a heel fucking Cody Rhodes.
I'm going to make a Chandler prediction. That's going to happen with Cody. Arn's going to take him that way. And people are going to go, Arn took him that way, and he's going to be ruthless. I don't know about Kenny. I'm thinking he's going to pick on Kenny.
Like go back to like some of the elite bickering like they were doing?
And just kind of be like, all this, you making up with people who push you around, if he keeps doing that. Mm-hmm. And Cody's, I'm sick of this. Who the hell do you think? And the Young Bucks, of course, be on Kenny's side, and Cody's going to hate them. But yeah, either one of them would be a good heel. But I want Cody to be a heel, and it would be great if he aligned with Jericho. That would just piss everyone off.
Oh yeah, or there's a lot of rumors and innuendo, all that bullshit. Sorry, Conrad. Yeah. About a new 4 Horsemen stable.
I've been hearing about that too. If Tully were to join with Arn as dual managers, I'd be behind it. I think, depending on who they pick.
The Brainbusters. What if the Brainbusters came back and they're the geriatric Brainbusters?
Well, the rumor is that Tessa's going to come to AEW. Her dad's there.
That's what I hear, but I hear WWE's been
that was
really
one of the
pursuing
reasons
it.
that she kept blowing off Impact. Plus, she was stuck in Mexico with Daga. Yeah.
Daga.
I always
he's
liked
another
him.
guy.
I thought he was great.
Yeah, he's Mexican strong style. Shredding. We've met him a couple
another dude
times.
who popped up from Lucha. That's right. He was part of the Cobra Moon's reptile tribe.
Yeah, dude, Cobra Moon. She's in NWA now.
Is she under Cobra Moon or?
No, she's God, what the fuck, man? I'm out of it.
She's not doing the gimmick then.
No, she's not doing that. She's fuck it, you guys. You have to look it up. Well, I can't remember, man.
Before we leave, I want to state that my favorite lady wrestler of all time, and it took somebody a long time to beat out Fabulous Moolah, is Rosemary.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
She is beyond great. This thing with her leading Tessa on and Tessa, or not Tessa, Taya, and Taya thinks she's her friend, and Rosemary laughs behind her back. It's fantastic. She is great. She's a great actress.
Oh, she's super awesome. I think hopefully they get to do a little bit more with her. I think like since she came back from injury, it's kind of, I mean, not that they're not promoting her.
Star being an idiot. Oh, that one.
Oh, yeah. She tried to go into business for herself.
That's a hardcore video. When you watch that, you're like, oh my God, she's actually pulling her arm out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you haven't really heard shit about her since then.
No, she got blackballed from every AAA blackballed her. You get AAA blackballing you, you're kind of fucked in Mexico.
Yeah. Well, and that's weird too, because she was a pioneer. Once again, hey, it's kind of like the whole Simpsons did it thing. Lucha Underground did it, if you want to look at Impact.
The dominant, she could have been a huge female wrestler in America.
She was world champion. She was a Lucha Underground world champion. That as a female.
She was one of the first to defend against guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and win.
Definite pioneer, but obviously she's a bitch.
yeah, but whatever. When you blow chunks, you blow chunks.
That's right.
Case in point, Sammy Guevara.
Oh yeah,
dude, shut your mouth.
Right? God, what an idiot.
Really?
He'll be back at some point though.
Yeah, I will eventually. You probably should put a mask on and go wrestle in Mexico.
Right? Put
That's
that
where I
panda
first
mask.
saw him was in the final season of Lucha. He pops up.
Yeah. Well, dude, he's been in Lucha. He did some shit with Impact too.
He was going good. I even bought a Bubbly Bunch shirt.
Nice. Do you order from Pro Wrestling Tees?
Yep,
Oh yeah.
big time. I got a King Kong Bundy and a Sheik Sabu shirt coming right now.
Fuck yeah. That's good.
I
to
love
know.
that place. They deliver him, like, before the pandemic, I'd get him in a week.
No shit.
Yeah. I've
I don't know
got
if I-
probably 20 or 30 shirts from them.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever got mine
Most of
that
the
quick.
wrestling shirts you see me wearing in pictures are from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Hell yeah.
90% of them.
Well, we know a few guys that are working there, so you got that St. Vitus rub
We'll
now.
tell them that I promote them all the time and keep making the shirts.
Oh yeah.
And I want a Neil Moscaris shirt. Can you ask them if they can kind of make
I think we can whip something up. I think we can make something happen for
the
you.
old school one, the white mask with the black and the M on the front?
Oh yeah, dude. That'd be dope. Well, Dave, man, before we end here real quick, let everybody know where they can find you at, man, and where they can find St. Vitus.
Yeah, just go to we actually are going to do a new St. Vitus Facebook page. We haven't done it yet, but it's going to be coming up. So for right now, they can just go to Dave Chandler's Facebook.
Fuck yeah.
And be sure that we are definitely, the St. Vitus one is coming. It takes a while to make a new page and stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got like 5 or 6 of them that I manage. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I know.
What about any new? Are we gonna get any new music anytime soon, or what? You guys still on Season of Mist?
We're kind of, that was bad news. But, I mean, you know, things happen the way they happen. I'm happy with the last record, so that's cool. I'm more into, like, I want this to stop so I can play this cool metal riff for Wildcat guy to walk on the ring to, because Luke wants me to do that. I'm like,
Hell yeah.
I would love to do that. That'd be great.
You know, maybe we might have to get a little. I'll have to send you. Well, once you hear the show when it comes out, you get to hear our theme song, which I think it's like the dopest theme song in all of fucking podcasting.
And I'll definitely I'll send the link to Luke and to Clayton from Anything too. You really got to talk to him. Actually, both of them would be good. I bet you Luke would talk to you too.
Oh yeah, dude, I would love to. In a heartbeat, man. Well, Dave, once again, thank you very much, brother, for coming on. Hey, and we're gonna have to do this again sometime, man. So I got your number. Anytime you want to chop it up about wrestling,
Right on.
you know, just fucking hit me up, man. I love that shit.
So do I. And I got one last thing to say before we leave.
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah, you heard it here first. Wet 'em up, wet 'em up, wet 'em up. Wow! Yeah, I'm so fucking hard for Dave Chandler and St. Vitus is fucking insane. JPDub.com.
You gonna do sex to me?